You know, a lot is at stake in this game, but a lot was at stake 4 years ago. That was 1981, when the Hawkeye team came out of nowhere and had a chance for the Rose Bowl in the final game, an outside chance at best. The opponent that year was Michigan State, and the result was a memorable afternoon at Kinnick Stadium. It was a cold November afternoon when Iowa met Michigan State at Kinnick, but on the very first play, Bobby Stoops warmed things up with the hit, and Andre Tippett with the interception. Several plays later, it's Phil Blatcher, and Iowa led 7-0. It became 9-0 when James Erb broke through to block the punt for a safety. Another first-half TD was set up on this Gordy Bohannon pass to Eddie Phillips. But Hawk fans were also following another game, Ohio State at Michigan.
Oh, gotta watch the Michigan-Ohio State game.
Well, what do you think? Who's going to win that one?
I don't know. Ohio State's really driving. They're down to the 10.
For Iowa to go to the Rose Bowl, Michigan had to beat the Buckeyes, and right before halftime of the Iowa game, the news came.
Ohio State 14, Michigan 9.
At halftime, some fella, as we started to leave the field, yelled that so-and-so just scored, and I said, who scored? And he said, the team with the ball. He had this little transistor radio. He was so nervous he couldn't tell me that Ohio State had just scored to defeat Michigan. His answer was the team with the ball had scored. Well, I grasped what he was trying to say, and on the way across the field, one of the security people ran out on the field to say, Coach, I just heard that Ohio State has upset Michigan, which meant that should we defeat Michigan State in our ball game, we would go to the Rose Bowl.
The trip to Pasadena was threatened early in the second half, but Tracy Crocker put out the fire with this interception.
Anytime anybody on our defense makes a big play, it's just the end result of 10 other people doing their job, and that's just what it was today. 10 other people doing their job. They got pressure on him. I was in the right place at the right time.
Iowa's defense continued to dominate. Mel Cole on the sack. And Phil Blatcher ran wild. His 247 yards, the second best in Iowa Hawkeye football history. Here Blatcher scores again. The final was Iowa 36, Michigan State 7. And almost unbelievably, the Iowa Hawkeyes had come out of nowhere in 1981 to win a trip to the Rose Bowl.
We've come of age. That's the prettiest flower I've ever seen. Gee, what a wonderful, wonderful day. The good Lord smiled on us. And would somebody please tell Mr. Schembeckler there was another game this week in the Big Ten?
I hope it'll hit me in a couple of days, but not yet. I can't believe it now. Brad Webb and Andre Tippett.
Andre, right. How does it feel? Tell me. What do you think?
Great. Feels great.
Can't going through your mind?
Just real happy right now. You know, we worked for it. Didn't nobody give us anything. Everything we got, we earned it, and you know, just you can only feel good. You know, nothing else. You only can feel good about it.
I guess it really hasn't hit a lot of people yet. I've been screaming and hollering, but I guess maybe it'll dawn upon me tonight that we really did.
First to say we have a winning season, and instinct that, and then go to a bowl game, and then go to the biggest bowl game of them all. It's unbelievable.
Baby. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I won't see you over Christmas.
And the Rose Bowl people, you know, they really have everything planned, and they'll just super accommodations, the sunshine, and all those other good things.
Coach, last year, Michigan.
Sorry, I waited.
What great memories, and two guys who have great memories of that game, Norm Granger, the fullback, and Mel Cole, who was a senior linebacker. And Mel, what about it? You were playing Iowa, you were playing Michigan State, and Ohio State and Michigan was going on at the same time. How do you remember that afternoon?
Well, the most I can remember about it is listening to the fans, not paying attention to us when we was out there on the field. And about, I said, after the first quarter, all of a sudden the fans broke out into hooray and hurrah, and they started announcing the score that Michigan had just lost to Ohio State, and that meant we was going on to the Rose Bowl. We just took care of Michigan State. And after that, it was nothing but roses in the sky for us.
What about the idea that they had to play Minnesota? That's a tough opponent. They even beat you the year you went to the Rose Bowl 12-10.
Yeah, Minnesota's always been a tough one for us. You know, that's the Ohio State and Minnesota, the only two teams in my days that I never had an opportunity to beat. And now these guys, they got a perfect opportunity to wrap this season up by beating Minnesota and get Floyd back down here, and then, you know, going from there, Rose Bowl, hopefully national champion, everything work out. And I feel that, you know, with the offensive and defensive weapons that these guys have, you know, Reagan and Grovichall should have invited Fry to the summit. They got the real weapons out there. You know, I think they have all the capabilities in the world to do it. You know, stars like Chuck Long, Ronnie Harmon, and Larry Station, and that great offensive line they have. Hey, I don't see nobody standing in their way from what's, you know, their destiny is right now.
Okay, I guess we have your prediction on this game and this season. Let's talk to Norm for a second. Norm, you played in that game and just watched the highlights. Some good memories, huh?
Yeah, it was some very good memories. You know, I really enjoyed playing and winning, and when we heard that Michigan had lost to Ohio State, we really partied, you know, right then.
Did you really believe you're going to the Rose Bowl then?
No, you know, we thought we'd have a winning team. We thought we'd have a real good year because we got ourselves together. We had leaders like Mel on the team who really held us together. So we knew we were going to go somewhere, but we didn't know whether we could go to the Roses so suddenly.
Minnesota's not going to let this Iowa team off lightly today, are they?
No, Minnesota's something about them, you know, and that trophy and everything else, the mystique there. They just really get after Iowa. You know, they have a pretty decent team. They have some injuries, but I think they're going to give Iowa a game.
Very quickly, if Iowa goes to the Rose Bowl, you think Hayden Fry will do a few things differently out there?
Yeah, I'm sure he will. You know, it was a new experience for us back then. We were all young. They didn't know how, you know, to handle the Rose Bowl or being out there for 2 weeks in that warm weather. You know, the guys, we kind of partied before we played, you know, and we got our presents too early.
Okay, thanks for dropping by to Norm Granger and Mel Cole. We'll be back with more in just a minute.